I cannot tell you how many times people think that they are going to make some great change happen within their school, but they neglect the very people who are going to make that great work happen, the leaders in the middle, those heads of department, those learning and teaching directors, leaders actually at every level find themselves left out sometimes of decision-making processes, or they find themselves without the skill set and the tools and the frameworks to be able to make big change happen effectively. It's one of the reasons we created our online course, Leading from the Middle. Leading from the Middle is an intensive 3-month program where we give you support within group sessions, but also one-on-one to help make sure that you, whether you're a senior leader or a middle leader trying to enact the school's strategic plan, for example, you have what it takes. We have done work, strategy work, in over 70 countries around the world. No matter the context, the culture, the language, you always find that the weak point of turning ideas into action is that point where we're saying, right, how are we going to get organized? How are we going to make things happen? How are we going to inspire people to make that first step? And so a great challenge that we also all face is uncertainty, the uncertainty that we live with, whether we are working in the state education sector with budgets that are going down, being sliced and diced with more pressure being piled on, or whether we're in the independent or international school sector where staff turnover quite quickly, where perhaps new curricula come in, new demands are put on the discipline, the approach to learning and teaching. That uncertainty means that we need more and more people who understand how to move in a more agile way. But middle leaders also tend to be the most neglected people in the school. They don't get clear communication, their own growth and development's ignored. We've discovered over the past few years that so many senior education teams in schools actually don't get any professional learning themselves, not any structured form. They're kind of left to get on with it on their own. But likewise, middle leaders find they're either underused or they don't get delegated to, or their creativity isn't tapped into when big decisions are being taken. So when we have this scenario going on for a long time, you end up with burnout. You end up with people working at odds to each other against the strategy of the school. There's some really good indications that this happens more often than we might want to think. 97% of managers might say that they know their organization's strategic priorities, but the reality is that a third could barely list 3 of those strategic priorities, and actually another third could not name one of their organization's strategic priorities. That's evidence that most middle leaders are not involved in the day-to-day enactment of a school's big thinking. So we created an online course called Leading from the Middle. I am going to take you on a little tour inside it in just a while, but I want to explain to you what's in it and how it works, because the success we've had in this course has made a significant concrete difference in the schools where it's taken place. We had these 4 big ideas in mind when we did it. The first thing is we wanted to go beyond management. A lot of middle leaders find themselves in a position where they are merely managing work. They are doing work that they are told to do rather than being proactive and initiating projects themselves. Often their own projects get squeezed out by the latest initiative introduced from on high. And so we're really keen to make sure that we move people beyond that kind of managerial way of doing things, and instead start looking at it from a point of leadership, that you are leading in your school alongside the senior leaders. You're not just waiting to be told what to do. The second big point here is that we wanted to increase the personal efficacy of middle leaders. Be more efficient, be more effective, be more confident in what you do. It's all good and well having a grand vision for learning and teaching, but if there's no paper in the cupboard, if there's no, if technology is breaking down when you want to use it, if you don't have availability of the support that you need when you need it, then we can't really make any change happen. So how do we look after the basics well in order to free up hours every week to do the great work that we want to do? We really wanted to create change makers, and that also means we need to make sure in our course that it's more than just ideas. So we don't just learn about leadership, we learn by asking every person who participates in the program to take a personal project all the way through the program and actually change what they are doing, put the project into action. So there's no kind of Netflix learning here where you sit back and hope that you learn. You will learn how to influence others, how to negotiate, how to team up, how to get the best out of people, and you will put those ideas into action. Um, the way we do it is in 3 parts or 3 sprints, if you like. The first part is all about finding your cause and setting your vision. So we help people who sometimes think, well, hold on, I'm a classroom teacher, or I'm just a head of department. You know, my vision is sometimes to survive, to get through the year. And we say, well, actually, let's have a look at that. What do you really want to achieve for yourself and for your team? What's your starting point? Let's learn how to really observe what is going on around us in our team, pick up on the clues that are there in order to engage everyone in the team better in the end. And how can we set up your own personal leadership habits and productivity habits so that you are saving hours a week? And we spend on that first week, we meet one day every day. We meet once every day for an hour. That's 5 hours back to back. So 1 hour on Monday, 1 hour on Tuesday, all the way through to Friday. In that Friday session, in that 1 hour, we save every participant in this 1 hour a week for life just by sharing some simple ways of managing your time and managing the inevitable emails that you get and things that get thrown in your lap in a way that is much more effective. We then give you a month to go off and just get yourself aligned, get yourself sorted out. When you come back with a vision, with an idea that you want to pursue, we talk about how you're going to engage the team in part 2. We show you how to undertake a pre-mortem to test how ideas might die if we're not careful. We help you work out how to create really good objectives and key results. We help you understand the jargon that sometimes other people use so that you are equipped to participate in those discussions. But we also do it in a real plain English way. We show you how to be a little bit more flexible and agile, how to help your team do that, and then build momentum. You will then start action on your personal project in school. In the third part, we give you another month or nearly 6 weeks to go off and just get your team together, get people taking those first steps in the project. In the third, we talk about all those challenges that you will inevitably face. How do you overcome them? How do you take those hard conversations by the horns and overcome any fear that people might have about having those kinds of conversations? But we also show you how to tell stories that will create impact and momentum in your project. We show you how you can proactively generate trust through what you do so that you don't have so many of these difficult conversations. And this works. The process we go through sounds intense. Meeting for 5 days in a row at the beginning of each sprint for an hour every day sounds crazy, but it really works. And don't worry if you can't make the live sessions. We have recordings that we put up pretty quickly after each day so you can catch up in your own time. But the purpose of that intensity is to help you make sense of difficult ideas quite quickly. And here's what we find. The key areas of improvement that we hope to improve people in is exactly where people improve. When we do our before and after surveys, the biggest areas are where people they see themselves enabling others. So they're able to make more of the team that they already have working with them by enabling them, empowering them to go and take up more responsibility. Huge improvement in that, huge improvement in the ability to convey and develop compelling vision of the future, what people are actually trying to do, masses of confidence built, but you've also got really pragmatic skills in how to manage projects, how to take better decisions, how to create more innovative ideas. And we've aligned every part of this program to leadership standards around the world. In Scotland, we've gained plaudits for that and some official recognition because we've tied it to national standards there. But equally, these tie to leadership standards that are probably in your school. And people have only good things to say about this course. The best PD this educators leadership team ever did. We've got senior people, like a secondary school principal, really noticing that their leadership style has changed. They've become more open, more encompassing, more involving of their team. We've had aspiring leaders who, thanks to doing the course, have found themselves able to create new roles for themselves and move into them, realizing that, you don't need to have it all figured out. You can just take the first step with your team and make great things happen. We've had senior leaders take part in this in order to kind of test it out first and see whether they want to put their team through it. And bar none, people have seized the opportunity in this course. Over 700 participants who have all seen themselves grow and seen their teams grow through it. So there are head teachers who will be looking at this, principals and directors of school, wondering, what's in it for them. In this course, it was originally designed just for aspiring leaders. And then we realized we had lots of senior leaders interested in taking part too, because they were wanting to see how they could make more of their middle leaders. So we help head teachers understand the 6 things that they can do so that they really focus on them and free their middle leaders up from thinking about it. So getting clearer about your long-term vision and strategy, making sure that teams work together and that they defend the vision that the school has through their work. Of course, directors are there to seek and retain talent and find the best people for the job and empower folk to lead, taking individuals beyond the urgent and important stuff and focusing them purely on what matters for the learning experience in school and improving that. Directors can engage the community and reinforce the purpose of the school like few other people can do. And of course, leaders, senior leaders, directors can be the example for everyone else. What we want to focus on in leading from the middle is everything that great middle leaders do, often on top of a fairly hefty teaching timetable as well. So we will help you become absolutely pro in these 6 things. We'll show you how to clear the decks, how to make sure that you have that swan-like efficiency when it seems that there's chaos all around. How do you keep things rolling along? We're going to help you refine your own idea of what matters, your own vision, your own vision statement, if you like, of what matters for you in teaching and learning. What is it you're trying to achieve in your team, in your department, in your school, and what's your role in it? We'll give you the space and time to work that out. We'll give you concrete tools that help you build even better relationships with your team and across the school. This is not just about sipping coffee with people. This is about frameworks and strategies that help you do that in a more proactive, structured way. We're going to help you develop a prototyping culture. So instead of sitting in the planning phase too long, we're going to help you get out of that and start doing things, prototyping, testing ideas. Michael Fullan calls this nuanced leadership. He says nuanced leaders have this curiosity of what's possible. They have that openness to other people, a sensitivity, and a loyalty to doing better tomorrow for young people. And we're going to show you that beyond these words, what are the structures you need to actually manage that when you're busy, when you've got plenty of other things you could be doing. The 5th element that you will absolutely improve on is learning how to create a shared impact with your colleagues. Learning, first of all, how to come up with ideas that will create an impact on learners. And then really importantly, how to know you made that impact and create stories, compelling stories of success that spur you on onto the next project. And then finally, we're going to help you understand strategy, the kind of stuff that your school board and your senior leadership team do. You also need to understand enough to be able to fit in it and know your role in making magic happen within that. Seth Godin, very famous marketeer, manager, leader himself, he says that leaders create the conditions where people choose new actions, that those choices are voluntary. They're made by people who see a new landscape, new opportunities, and new options. You can't make people change, but you can create an environment where they choose to. What we've created in this course is the environment where you're going to be able to find yourself as a leader and really flourish in what you're trying to achieve in school. Just before I go, if you're interested, you can drop us a line, hello@notosh.com. We have special rates for members of various associations, membership groups. And if you're a state school, get in touch with us and let's see what we can do to get you engaged as well, because we feel this is hugely valuable for anyone working in education. Most of what we do is live. We're going to meet you live, hear your Q&A. We're going to give you a chance to get interactive with each other, thinking things through together with peers. Incredibly valuable live time, but you might not manage every session live. You might need to teach. You might not be able to get the time off at that slot. So every day, we actually share the video recording of what we do in our online platform. You go into whichever section you're on, the session that you want to review, or something that you missed or that you want to catch up on, and there you will be able to see the recording of one of the sessions that we've held each day. You get the downloads, the slides, perhaps the frameworks, extras. We often put bonuses up here as well, which give you a chance to get some additional things, often based on the Q&A. People ask a question, we don't have the answer straight away, so we share it. We give you drop-ins one-on-one with members of our team to talk through your own challenges. And as part of what we do, it's all research-based. We originally created this in partnership with an Australian university. That robust research-based approach to leadership follows through in the further reading you can undertake through our references section, which is pretty exhaustive and updated, of course, during the course of the program itself. Leading from the Middle is 16 hours of live online course time with me and Jeremy Weinstein. It is drop-ins with any number of our team around the world at a time that suit you. It's the ability to catch up on ideas that you've heard once but want to try and get into more. But the most important part of this program is it's an opportunity to make change happen during the program. You're not going to learn and then have a ton of work to do. You're going to have a manageable amount of work to do as part of this course, probably around another 15 hours of your own time over the course of those 3 months. Although, of course, many people choose to invest longer than that because it's the work that they're doing as part of their day-to-day. And at the end of it, you will have created a change project that most of the time will have created a positive change and worked out. But even if it hasn't worked out, you will learn from those failures. You'll have time to reflect and refocus, change things up and try things differently, even within the constraints of time that we have. We cannot wait to see you take part in this. Drop us a line if you have any further questions that you can't find the answers to on our website already. If you're interested in discounts, again, drop us a line, hello@notosh.com. Carolyn and our team here are really keen to make sure that people who have the hunger to become a better leader have the opportunity to do so. We cannot wait to see you in Leading from the Middle. We think we've got something special based on the feedback we've had from over 700 participants. Why don't you take up your chance to join them this time around?